produce very quickly at all. So while bread is valuable, it's a very slow product. Okay. This is gonna be difficult to line up. Yeah. It might be a contract piece of equipment, but actually that's interesting. That's a change from 19. So in 19, if you used your equipment, I think the contract usage flag was only checked on the motorized vehicle. So you couldn't use a harvester that you borrowed for contract work on your own field. You could only use it on fields that you had active contracts on. The header on the harvester could be used in any field. And I think, tractors, if you were doing a cultivate contract and borrowing the cultivation equipment, you couldn't cultivate your own fields. However, if you borrowed the equipment but used your tractor, it would come on, drop, thank you. It would allow you to use the borrowed equipment on your land. So that was one way of getting around I don't have a decent sized seeder, but there's this contract for seeding a field and I have a tractor that has the power to haul it, so I'm just going to hatch my tractor on their seeder and I'm going to go off and seed my fields. Can't do that in 22. That was saying this baler is only allowed for contracts. Now admittedly it's allowed for, technically it should be limited to the contract I'm doing, but it's not that smart. It's valid for any contract that I'm doing. And obviously if I don't complete the contract that we got this equipment on, I could go round and do more. Now, I don't know if baling contracts are the same as harvesting contracts. One of the issues with harvesting contracts is if you complete the contract and save the game and quit and then come back in, that completed contract will go away. So you lose the money. So you have to complete every harvesting contract that you have completed before you save and quit. Now, if you don't quite complete it, if you finish harvesting but don't finish the delivery, the contract's not complete. So you can save and quit and then come back in and the contract will still be there, at least until you do you deliver the last piece. But that can mean you lose all the bonus stuff if you're not careful. And if you typically borrow all the equipment on one contract and then do 3 or 4 contracts with that borrowed equipment, then if you're unfortunate that the first contract you did is the one that completes, then you've got to complete all of them, or that contract equipment will go away. And if you're in the middle of a field doing contracts, then what can happen is everything that's in the tipper trailer is gonna disappear, and you're gonna even if you bring your equipment down to the field to finish off the contract, you can end up, oh, I lost too much because the borrowed equipment for the other contract disappeared with all the grains from this contract. I did that on this map, so something you've got to keep an eye on. Okay, you can stop there, and I'm not done with you yet. So, start the engine, back you up. As I said, I'm not sure how that works out for baling contracts. In fact, I don't know how it works out for any other contracts. It could be that all the contracts do this now, and just make sure you complete them before, or you claim them before you log out. You could lose them. That would be bad. Alrighty. Do I want to go back and do those again? I do need to do that bit. Actually, I want to do across the top, don't I? Okay. This end a little bit tidier than the other end. And lift the thing, and I'm going to call that good enough. There's a couple of unsightly blocks that the baler is going to have some problems with, but I think we can gauge how much of those we do with how much how desperate we are to complete a bale. So just get this tiny field baled. See how much we have left over. Part of the problem is if I don't pick it up, next time I come back to this field, there's going to be clumps of hay lying around in it. Which I guess isn't a totally bad thing, because we can add those to the bales next time round. I don't know. Or if we ever buy the field. Although this field, all the fields we're doing today are part of an animal husbandry, so we would have to buy a sheep barn or a cow barn to go with it. Not that we need to then buy sheep and cows to go in the barn, it's just that it's what all these grass fields are intended for. How are we doing? Seem to be doing okay. How's this tractor? This tractor is full on fuel and pretty good state for maintenance, so not too worried about that right now. Yeah, kind of. In some ways, I miss the decay from Realismus seasons. We have to deal with the grass material in a timely manner, or it goes away. But then what that means is next time we come to plough the field, or next time we come to cut the field, all the leftover straw and the leftover grass has gone. Which is a good thing to have. Just started a new bale. Interesting, 30%. I don't know if there's 30% left on this field. So now we're playing Hunt the Grass. And obviously where it's stacked up quite deep, we did miss a fair amount. I don't think there's 60%, 62% grass left on this field. Just a feeling I have. Still, we did make a lot of bales. I'm not even sure how many trailer loads we're going to end up with. Oh, going silent for a minute. Okay, I'm back, and looks like we've definitely got a hard stop on the stream today, since Mrs. Osa's home help is coming around about 12:30, so I need to be tidied up by then. Oh, we actually made a full bale. Oh, there we go. That's nice. Completely missed that. Bit. And of course the other thing is the baler's not ours, so it's not even benefit to us to load it with hay. But I'll clear what we can, and then we'll drive the convoy back to the store. And I'll use the borrowed tractor to come and collect everything. And we'll have to drive all of our tractors back from the store. I can use Follow Me because there's two of them. So that's kind of convenient. Okay, you're done. And baler off. Thing lifted. Chuck the bales, all two extras. Nice. And fold up the back. So one thing that annoys me about these square balers is 19 they used to actually all pop out the back, and in 22 they don't. The last one gets hooked up on the thing, the rear tray that they drop off. So a little bit annoying. Anyway, back to the store. Best way to do this. I think maybe we go down to, I think it's field 24, because that's closest to the animal dealer where all these bales need to go. So that's the shortest trip. And then everything that is left over has to go back to the yard. So at that point it really doesn't matter which field, because our yard is not close to any of these. Anyway. We did pick up a lot of dust. You need to stop following, drive in, and I will drop that there, turn that off, that way. Back to this one, we'll go collect bales. Yeah, I think what I'm trying to say is things like field 104, 119, at least 104 is a long way from the farm and a long way from the animal dealer. So it doesn't matter where I end up taking the bales from that field. It's a long trip either way. Oops. Whereas whatever it is, I think it's field 24. It's right up the road from the place that we sell the bales, so kind of useful. It's also fairly close. It's fairly close to our farm, but it's much closer to the animal dealer, so that's just easier. I think the next closest might be the one by the store, to be fair. You can get from there down to the farm, but it's like convoluted cross-country tracks, which may not quite be so much fun with this equipment. Now, having done square bales, our ability to move them is severely limited. We can only move 14 at a time. It's kind of why, yeah, it's the challenge. Yeah, round bales are annoying because you have to stop and start to empty the round baler, unless you're using a fast bale. Whereas square baler, you just turn it on and go. But the round bale carrier will carry 24 bales, and this will only carry 14, so it can quite significantly reduce the amount of trips you need to make, which may be the more efficient way to do it in the long run. So round bales for the win. Also, you can put the round baler as follow me on your rake, and then you don't have to worry about stopping and starting. Just get out there and drive. Oh. Doop-a-doo. Okay. Oh, so a 5-year-old former foster child. Last week he'd run into a shrub and hurt his eye. Well, he was in hospital on Monday getting a splinter removed and had to have, they had to put him under and put him through surgery for that. So he's a little bit unhappy at the moment. Why does that say 12? Because I've got 12 including the one on the ramp. Okay. 13 and 14. And then I think he's got to wait a couple of weeks before he goes back and has more surgery to remove the sutures and everything else. So not a good situation. Plus he already has one bad eye and this was his good eye. So since he has to use his bad eye at the moment, this may actually help strengthen that eye. I mean, obviously you don't wish that on anybody, but there may be some good that comes out of it. Alrighty. First load. No idea how much we need for this or which contract it's going to credit. That's fine. And that's why I don't like this particular carrier for normal purposes, because it stacks up right. So your barn needs to be tall enough to take that. And 9. There we go. Contract on 90 finish, contract on 104 finish, 32% for 128. So we've actually completed 2 contracts. And I don't want to claim any of them until we've finished shipping all of the bales. And the reason for that is because we don't have a square bale carrier, and I really don't want to have to lease one to go and grab any bales that are sitting out in fields once we've finished the contracts. And I don't remember which contract this equipment is for. It might actually tell me now. Obviously, I want to make sure that 24 is... We clear field 24 before we claim it as done. Same with the others. I don't want to be locked out of a field and for it to say you can't collect these bales because, or for the bales to magically vanish because, well, I've claimed the contract done, so everything left on the field now can't be collected. Kind of like chopping down trees. If a tree falls in a neighbouring yard, then you can be restricted from fetching it. At least 19 you could be restricted. 17 not so much. You could drop down a tree in anybody's land. You didn't care. So you could always start a moneyless farm endeavour, so long as you had a chainsaw and something you could stack logs on. You could just go anywhere on the map and chop down a tree in 17. That was fine. 19, they decided you can't chop down other people's trees. That's bad. Okay, so all the bales on that field. I think I might shut the gate this time. Most of these gates are left open from the last time we did contracts in them. So just drove up and drove in. Okay, what we got? 8. I don't know. It's probably most efficient to just drop these off and then go and fetch a full load from the next field. I mean, if we did have, you know, if the next field was on the way, it's worth starting a collection from the next, finishing off the load. But this is quickest, so yug, we will do it this way. Okay, 24 is the field we've completed. Or, sorry, 24 is the field that has no bales left on it. What we might do is contracts. So 90 and 104 are completed. I need to show details. 119 is where we borrowed the equipment. So I can claim 90 and 104 once I've taken all the bales off it. This one has not. That one has not delivered. That one has done a partial delivery. Okay, so this will complete 128, but I need to go and fetch bales off of 90, 104 and 128 before I move on. And let's drop that. So say that again. 90, 104, 128. It's not delivering to the big field, that's good. So the next field it's delivering is 24, but not fully done yet. Pick a field that's not 119. 119 is there. I'm thinking I'll do 90. That's a small field. 104. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Let's do 104 next. It's the furthest out, but oops. If we get all the bales from 104, we can stop at 90 on the way back. And 90's tiny, so it's not going to be a significant amount of bales to deliver. Oh, the logistics of bale collection. And the Anderson bale square collector or square bale collectors aren't much better than this one in that they only carry 14. I think the thing is you can carry more if you can definitely carry more square bales if you do a manual load on a reasonable sized flatbed. Because you can stack 3 or 4 high. Round bales are a little bit more tricky to stack 3 or 4 high, so running around with 24 on something like this is possibly the easiest method of transport that we have available to us for bales. Okay, oh, this might be tricky. Because the problem is I want to go to the field that's behind us. That might work out. Okay. And yay, I'm so awesome at reversing stuff. Admittedly, this is a much easier device to reverse because it's quite a long wheelbase, so it takes a little bit more of an angle to get it to turn. And it doesn't swing out of control quickly if you overcook it. And this is another small field, so it may take maybe less than 14 bales on this one. Although we did produce a lot of hay. I mean, you look at that, that's one row, we got 4 bales along the